Welcome back to the OpenAI Associate Developer course. In this session, we're going to dive into one of the advanced properties of the OpenAI Chat Completion API, the max tokens property. This property plays a crucial role in managing the length of the responses generated by the AI. The max tokens property allows you to set a limit on the number of tokens that the AI will generate in its response. By controlling the number of tokens expected in a response, you can better ensure that the AI's responses are concise and fit within your desired length constraints. Let's look at an example of how to use the max tokens property in your API call. Going back to our defs.ts file, we'll first start with just a single user role and only one message in our messages object. Next, we will add the max tokens property to our OpenAI configurations object. Here, we'll set max tokens to 100. In this example, we set the max tokens property to 100. This tells the AI to generate a response that is no more than 100 tokens. By setting this limit, we can control the verbosity of the response and better maintain the tokens you're charged for. When using the max tokens property in an OpenAI API call, know that it refers to the maximum number of tokens only for the response generated by the model. However, it is important to note that the allowable total token count for a transaction includes both the tokens in the prompt, i.e., request tokens, and the number of tokens in the response. Here, the model's total context length limits the number of tokens in the complete back and forth and considers the total as the prompt and response combined. So always remember, the max tokens property helps you limit only the number of tokens in the AI's response. You still need to be careful to limit the length of your prompts. Thus, if you create an extremely long prompt, you could expect to run out of tokens before you have a complete response. This could happen even before you hit your max token limit. Know that keeping our prompt request relatively short in order to preserve tokens is one of the reasons we stick to few-shot prompting instead of quadrillion-shot prompting. Before we move on, let's revisit our main.ts file and add an additional log statement. We'll stringify the JSON response object and log it to the console so that we can see the AI's full response. Now run your application. In the AI's response JSON, you'll find a finish reason property. If this property has the value of length, this lets you know that the max tokens limit was hit before you got the entire AI response. We will dive into the output more in later lessons, but for now, look for the finish reason property to see if you hit the max tokens limit. Using the max tokens property is particularly useful in scenarios where you need concise responses that fit within specific constraints or when generating content for platforms with character limits. By effectively using the max tokens property, you can fine-tune the AI's responses to be concise, relevant, and within a desired length, thus enhancing the overall user experience. In our next lesson, we'll take a look at the response object we get back from the AI in more detail. Stay tuned, and let's continue enhancing our AI-powered applications together.